Hey everybody, and welcome back to Soozie Stuff. Happy 4th of July. Today we're going to look at some patriotic DIYs from Dollar Tree. And I've got a wreath and a pillow, and I have got, a couple of signs. And I'm going to be using everything from Dollar Tree. There's a couple of things from Walmart and one thing from Dollar General. But what do you say we get started? I just want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a lot of fun and get a lot of inspiration. Let me introduce myself. Hey everybody, I'm Soozie, and this is Soozie Stuff. Welcome to station KDIY Channel 146. I'm so happy you're here. I would love it if you'd click and subscribe and then click the bell to be notified when I upload a new episode. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up or even a comment. So don't touch that dial. Let's go make some stuff. And here we go. My very first project today is called my Broken Wreath USA. What in the world? Well, we are using 3 of these vine wreaths from Dollar Tree and a couple of signs. They need to be the wider signs, but if you have any other kind of board, you can use that. And I'm using some twine. I think I'm almost out, but I'm sure I'll find some somewhere. So the very first thing is I'm going to put these 2 boards together, and I'm just using your basic jumbo popsicle sticks, and we're getting those hot glued on just to make it sturdy. And once again, if you have a big board, pretty much you can use any type of board for this project. And so now I'm just going to fill up that little gap. I didn't really push it together when I was using those popsicle sticks, but it's all right. It all turns out well. And so what we're going to do is get this painted white, and we're going to sand it in just a minute after it dries. All right, it's sanded, dried, and filled in perfectly. And now we have the fun pleasure of painting it white. And I'm only going to be using 1 coat because I am going to sort of sand it a little bit, give it a little rustic look. And now I'm just using a little bit of some black acrylic paint with one of those Dollar Tree brushes. I really like those to sort of antique and distress things a little bit. So I'm just putting this around the edges, and don't be shy, just throw it on there. And if you make a mistake, you can get some white paint and cover it back up. But I'm going to add this on there, and then I'm going to sand it just a little bit to sort of blend it in well, and it comes out really nice. And here comes the fun part. All right, if you want to use some gloves while we do this part, you can. I didn't really need to because I'm kind of used to it. But what you need is a pair of little sort of wire cutters. And what you're going to be doing is kind of breaking and cutting this wreath apart and shaping it into the letters USA. One of the most important parts about doing this is when you cut it, you want to make sure that you get that end tied up really nice and tight. I just use a little bit of hot glue and throw it on there because the jute twine is what holds everything together. So you want to make sure as soon as you cut it, I need to wash my hands. I get so excited sometimes when I'm making it, I don't even want to get up to wash my hands. But anyway, and so I'm just wrapping each end really tight with some twine. Told you I found some in my stash. And so every time you use this, you're going to do a little bit of cleanup. I love these little trash cans from Dollar Tree. I have it on the side there, and I just slide it right into the trash. Okay, so you are going to bend this, and it's going to sound like it's breaking, which you kind of want it to be doing. You want it to break a little bit. Also, another tool that I use is some of those needle nose pliers. I'll show you here in just a second. But remember, when you're doing that, you want to fix up the ends. So there are my needle nose pliers, and I'm just kind of bending, pushing and bending, and you kind of hear it breaking, but you'll get it. And it really shapes nicely. I think I started doing this back in February when I did a Valentine's video of I made some X's and O's using this wreath, and I thought, these can be shaped into almost any letter. So that's kind of what gave me the idea here. So I just made another U, turn it upside down, and we're going to make a straight little one, kind of cut it off, and to make the A. So on this part, you see, I didn't really close up the ends, because what I'm going to do is I hot glue that together, and that really looks okay, and that's fine, and it's really sturdy and stays. But I used some jute twine to sort of, I guess, make it a little more sturdy, but I also liked the look of it. So I'm just wrapping it around, sort of crisscrossing over and under and looping and crisscrossing. And I really like the way that it looks. And either way is fine. It's just up to you. So I just hot glue those together, and the U and the A are done. I left the S for last. The S is not that hard, so don't get worried. But I was showing you, I should have showed you that first. Those were the tools that I was using. But you just kind of have to think in your mind, how does an S go? And so you're going to start cutting and bending. So right about there is where I said that's where the S should turn again. And those needle nose pliers really do help you to break it and sort of get it in the shape that you want. Now this S is not really going to stay an S. It's just not going to do it. It needs something to hold on to, unless you want a question mark. There's a question mark. So see, it's not really going to stay, but it will. We're going to make it stay on our board. And that's why I said you could use any type of board that you want. You may have some old fence boards or something like that. And the biggest tip here is I turn my hot glue on really hot, and I'm gluing that on, and you need to be patient during this time because you need to hold it on until it dries so that it will stay. Once it's dry, it is secure. I promise you. I put some hot glue on there, and then I got this big box of, I had a big box of marbles and rocks and things in my craft room. So I just set that on the top as well. So I have this patriotic ribbon from Dollar General. I think I got it. And that's why we didn't cover up the hole, is because I'm just going to be using a touch of color. I didn't want to really use too much bows and color on this, because the USA really is enough. It's just, it stands out and it's kind of its own thing there. And I do add a little bit of jute twine around the ribbon. And then I use just a little bit of raffia. Have to have a little raffia as a little bow on the side. And this project pretty much is complete. I love it. It is actually sitting on my mantle. Hi, everybody. It's actually sitting on my mantle right now. I love it. And I'm going to make some more letters. I think they're so cool. And with a little time and breaking and the right tools, you'll get it just right. Happy USA! I love it. I hope you do too. And my next project is called Cat Scratch Fever Flag. And this is kind of a crazy little project I have going here. I've used the cat scratch boards before in a couple of episodes, and I really do like them. They're kind of fun to work with and kind of easy. I'm also using some of those little wooden cutout stars and some red, white, and blue paint. And let's get it all laid out and get started. So first you're going to need 6 of the cat scratch boards from Dollar Tree. And I really, in my head, I wanted it to look sort of like a brick layer look. And so I'm just using this knife. Be careful, it's not for kids. And so just be careful and cut those down. And it really cuts easily. And so it kind of looks like a little sort of little brick wall type looking thing. Now, one thing about these little cat scratch boards is they are not the same. They're very kind of wonker jawed a little bit, and so there's going to be little gaps here and there, but in some ways I kind of liked that. And then it's easy to trim off. Like you see, it's kind of crazy right now, and but I do trim some of it off, and like see there on the bottom, and I'm just gonna kind of stand it up and cut that off, and it cuts super easy. You just kind of, it's almost like butter. You just cut it and it just it's in little layers. So I'm gonna cut that off and get it all kind of squared away, and we are ready to paint. So this paint, I didn't have any blue, and I picked up this acrylic paint. I didn't realize that was acrylic paint at Dollar Tree. I thought it was kind of like finger paint, kind of, you know, tempera paint. And I think they had that at the first when they started carrying paint, but now this is acrylic. So this worked out really well. I'm so excited. And so I'm just kind of brushing it on, and you're looking at it sort of straight down, and I was kind of looking at it sideways, and it really is cool how it kind of gives a little bit of a different effect. And here I'm sort of testing out this red. It looked really orange to me, but it's the apple barrel, and one of them is hot rod red and the other one is red flag, and I honestly could not tell the difference. But anyway, it worked out great. I just used it and it's red. So here we go. And I'm using sort of half, my guide is half of the board. You see there's the hole, and then I'm kind of going half. And then this paintbrush is actually the perfect size for my stripes. I lucked out on that. And these are folk art, I believe, paintbrushes from Walmart. So if you see these, pick those up. Now I'm just doing the red stripes, and of course this is sort of an abstract flag. I don't have the exact 13 stripes. And then I'm using the white. Now what you could do, as I was looking at it, is you could just leave the white stripes that natural color. I think that would be really neat too. And so there it is, pretty much all put together. I just think it was really fun. And so now I'm going to use these stars, and I was going to paint them white, and I decided, nope, not going to paint them white. I wish I had another pack of them, because I didn't want to use that. There's 6 in there, and I didn't want an even number. I added 6, and it just didn't look right. And so I just used 5, and so I hot glued those right on. I guess the 6 would have been all right. I kind of show you there, but for some reason I just wanted the odd number. But anyway, they hot glued perfectly right on there. Here we go, last one. And then we're going to create a hanger. And I'm going to do sort of a magic trick. I saw someone do this. I don't remember who it was. Sorry. I want to give you credit. It might have been Crafts by Caitlin. I can't remember. But anyway, I just cut this little knot off and make it flat on one side. And like you can see right here, I'm cutting it super flat on the bottom. And we're going to hot glue that right on. And then it's going to look like that I punched a hole in the flag, but I really didn't. It's our little secret. And so we'll put some of the nautical rope on the back. And I use some of those extra pieces that I cut off to sort of anchor it down, and it is really secure. And you see how perfect those little extra pieces are to anchor that in. I just hot glue it on there, and it worked out perfectly. And this little crazy cat scratch fever flag is complete. I'm really happy how it turned out, and I don't think I would put it outside in the weather, but I think it would be cool for your door. And you can see like some of the boards kind of give you a different texture, and it just sort of, I don't know, I just really like it. It just came out really fun and a great conversational piece for sure. Up next is my DG Patriotic Pillow. And why do I call it DG? Is because one of the items that I use here, the main item, is from Dollar General. So I'm going to be using some of this fabric paint from Eileen's, and I did get it at Walmart. But check out these placemats. I got them at Dollar General for $2 a piece. How cool are those? And so I thought, how perfect to make a pillow. And this little star I have had from Dollar Tree, but you could use any type of star shape that you have. You can find one on the internet, cut it out, use it on some poster board, but just any kind of star shape that you can find. And I'm just kind of making this one a little bit bigger than my my little star. So I'm also using some pinking shears. I think that gives it a really cool technique there on the ends. And this is called Super Fabric Adhesive. And I probably could have used some hot glue, but I just wanted to give this a try. I've had it for a while. One thing it says on there is to make sure you use it in a ventilated area. And so I thought, okay, well, if it says that, it's probably going to stink. It does. But I thought, I'm going to go fast. I'm not going to use very much, but I would suggest to use this outside because it does have a very adhesive kind of paint spray smell to it. And so you don't want to inhale that. But anyway, this works great. It also says, I thought, well, I'm going to have to wait. Whoo, it sunk. And so it says to wait about 2 to 4 hours to dry. So I thought that's not too bad. I was thinking overnight. But once it dries for 72 hours, it says that you can wash it. So I usually don't really wash my pillows. If anything happens, I just kind of wash them off myself with a wet rag. But because I change my pillows seasonally, so they're not out too long. But anyway, hot glued all 3 sides. And now I'm using some filler from an old pillow. And what I'm doing is I'm getting crazy with this pillow stuffing. And I like to, my whole, my phone, everything else was going crazy. And so I pulled out little pieces. I think that works best instead of one giant large piece. So I'm just kind of pulling it all apart and shoving it all in there. And then we're going to close it up. Now you could use any kind of design that you want on here. I love that sort of a deeper red from the bandana. And I was thinking about maybe putting 3 stars, but my star was kind of large, so I thought that is all that it needed. I also thought about on the other side saying the words USA, which would also have been neat, but I just didn't. I just went with the 1 star. And I've used those little clips to hold it together, and look how darling. I tell you, this pillow probably could go for what, $30 or something like that? Because those placemats from Dollar General are very well made. So grab some placemats, whatever placemat that you have, and get some bandanas or whatever kind of material and make you a patriotic pillow today. Oh boy, I am having so much fun. I hope you are too. And my next project is called Splatter Screen Wreath. And when you hear me say splatter screen, you probably know I'm talking about the one from Dollar Tree. I'm using some old pair of jeans that are just, I'm done with them. And some ribbon. We'll talk about the ribbon in a little bit. Yeah. Be careful with this screen. I cut my finger. I would definitely use gloves. Oh my goodness. It wasn't hard to take off, but it is sharp. And so please be careful with that. But I just think this little wire thing is super cool to use because I didn't want to use the green foam wreath or the other sort of regular wire wreath. I like this one because it is really thin, and for what I was going to do today, it really worked out well because I'm just tying them on there, and I just wanted a thin piece to tie it on. So I'm using this ribbon. Okay, so everybody has seen the polka dot ribbon. Yes, we always see it. But the red ribbon is kind of a maroon red. That is out right now because that is fall stuff. So a lot of this ribbon is going to go fast. So grab it now. They have flowers out and they have ribbons out in the fall. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness, it's June. Hello. But it's good for us crafters because we can get the stuff now. So anyway, I'm using some of the red and the dotted burlap ribbon, and then a jean piece. And these are about 8 inches, I think. Did I show you that? 8 inches. And I'm just tying them on. Tie. And then I did have to trim a little bit. And then ever so often, I just add a little bit of hot glue on there to sort of keep it secure. Now, thinking about the handle, I was going to take it off, but I thought, no, I think it might be cool to use as the actual hanger. And so we're going to be adding a bow so it hides it a little bit. And when you're tying it, it's all really easy. The only harder one to tie is the red. So when you're using or tying the red one, kind of scrunch it up in the middle, and that will help you when you're tying it. And there's a little bit of hot glue and it's almost done. Oh, it's done. And so I was going to use that sort of zigzag Dollar Tree ribbon. I thought that would be super cute because it kind of goes with the polka dot. But I did have this other ribbon from Walmart that I decided to use. I've had it for a while. I think I've only used it once. And I loved it because it really pulls in the jean color, the denim jean. So I went with that. I am not the best bow maker in the world, and I don't know why. I fiddle with it and turn it and move it around, and I don't know. Maybe because my hands are so big, who knows. I just am not the best bow maker. And maybe I'm trying too hard. I just keep saying, I can't do it. But it turned out great. I like it. Hey, I like it. And so I just went around 3 times, added a little tail, and there you go. And see, it kind of hides the little handle. Not really, but I just think the handle is kind of cute on there. And so I needed to add a little something extra. So I had this red button, and I popped it right in the center. And that is the finishing touch. Oh, I have to print some more. Hello. And so here it is. It turned out beautiful. This is probably what, $30 that you would find. I love the handle. Again, a subject of conversation. And then check out these beautiful candles. My friend Tammy makes candles, and she is Shepherd's Tail Candle Company. And those are some really cool brand new 4th of July candles. I think they're beautiful, Tammy, and her link is down below if you'd like to order them. You can make a splatter screen wreath today. Have fun with it. And for my last patriotic DIY today, it's called Popsicle Flag Plaque. And this project kind of took 2 or 3 different turns because I wanted it to be something, but it turned out something else. I changed my mind about 3 or 4 times. But anyway, we'll get her done. And so I'm starting out with these window clings. One of those new boards that they have at Dollar Tree, they have those now for $1, and I know you can probably get them cheaper. But sometimes you just get them right when they have it. And I'm using 5 of the jumbo popsicle sticks from Walmart. So I'm going to be painting this little board here with that blue acrylic paint again. And I do like the blue, but I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. So I do add a little bit of white with it. And then I actually go back and use a little more blue. So you'll see here how I blended it. And sometimes I just can't use those sponge brushes. They're neat, but sometimes they're just too floppy for what I need it for. So anyway, you can see how the blue blended with some white, and then I go back and add some of the darker blue, the original color, and add that in there. And I love all the different colors, and I only needed one coat. And here comes my babies, and I was like, I pushed her away because I'm like, don't get in the paint. So she'll have that tracked all over everywhere, but luckily she didn't get into any. So this turned out great, and now we're going to paint the popsicle sticks in red and white. 2 white and 3 red. So originally I wanted to drill a hole in the top of the popsicle sticks and then on the board, and I was going to use some twine to sort of have them dangle down below. But as I was working and painting, and then I was distressing here with some Waverly antique wax paint, I changed my mind, because I think a lot of it was I just didn't want to get my drill out and do it. And I really am very pleased at how it turned out. I hope you think so too. Here in just a minute you'll see. And so I'm distressing all my pieces, and then I'm going to sand them down. I am going to cut the popsicle sticks too, to where they don't have the little curved edge. So now after I get all this sanded down, I do sand the popsicle sticks too. I did cut those down, you can see there. I always have some of the burlap with me, usually at all times. I love burlap, and again, my second turn was I wasn't going to use any burlap. I just thought everything looked too flat, and I don't know, I just wanted it to be a little bit more 3D, and I guess laziness, not wanting to get out my drill, was my advantage this time. And so what I'm doing is I'm cutting out some of my little upholstery pins. You've seen me do that before, where I just cut off the little tips of them. So I'm going to hot glue this burlap down. And then I had a little plank there. You saw me stain with some of the Waverly antique wax. And so I'm going to place that right on top of the burlap. And then see how that, I love how that looks. Now that just came out better than I originally had planned. It just does that right in the middle of a craft. Your mind just goes, nope, not feeling it. Let's go this way. And that's kind of what happened to me today. And so I just hot glued this board right on, and then I'm going to use the little upholstery pins to put on each corner, and then I just kind of tap them down. I really think those upholstery pins really push it up to the high end level, and I just tap that in with my little handy dandy hammer. And now I'm gonna finally get to the window clings, and there was a couple that I liked. I liked the USA. That one looked really good. But then I found this other one that says America the Beautiful, and I thought it looked the best. Which one would you have chosen? And so now I've got some Mod Podge, and we're just going to throw that on super quick, and it dries super quick. And then we'll hot glue on the little stripes down below, and we're almost done. Oh, did you see that little bug go by? I think I saw it a couple of times. That was a mosquito that had gotten into the house. Oh, those things are evil. Evil, I tell you. I hate mosquitoes. Anyway, back to the enjoyment of our craft. I hot glued the stripes down below, and I did it right before that had dried, but you can see there I added a hanger, and that's that wire, that jute twine that has the wire in it. And then the last final touch, since I had it from the wreath, is my little dotted burlap ribbon. I thought it went perfect, and this just came out so cute. I love this. It's hanging on the back of my front door, and I just love it. How simple, with changing your mind a couple of times, it worked out great. And here it is with some of the things I made for Memorial Day. You see those candles. I'm going to link my Memorial Day video down below so you can check it out, because some of those projects you can use for 4th of July as well. So check those out. Those clings I used on the little candles there. And then there are some other little projects. So I hope you enjoyed my Popsicle flag plaque, and I hope that you can make yours today. Thank you for joining me today on my Happy 4th of July patriotic projects. I hope that I inspired you, had a few laughs, and that you can go out and create some fun things. You've got time, and there's a lot of stuff out there at Dollar Tree still. And don't forget to check out Dollar General. So thanks to my subscribers, thanks to my new subscribers, and I'll see you on Tuesday for my 60-second DIY. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and even a comment. I would love to hear from you. I'll see you next time on Soozie's Stuff, KDIY Channel 146. Bye, everybody.